Hello folks and welcome back to Quick Reviews, the show where we quickly review the games that we've been playing the past couple of weeks. Our ranks go from F, which is a bad game, and you rub the crap of the game on its own nose so it doesn't crap again, all the way up to A, which is a good game, and sometimes our rank isn't enough, and to really capture the special games, the games of the generation, we give it the yes rank. With me today is Fajitas.
Sup?
And Warak, sitting right next to each other.
Hey, hi.
How you guys doing? My name's Globko, of course. Today's thumbnail is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's all you, Fajitas.
Yeah, that's all on me. Basically, Mario Kart 8, it's the new Mario Kart that's coming out for Switch. That's already out on Switch.
Yes.
And basically has all the DLCs that Mario Kart 8 had on Wii U. And it's the same Mario Kart experience you can expect.
So that was one of the best Mario Karts. That's what I heard. That's one of the best Mario Karts.
It's probably the more balanced Mario Kart experience you have, although it's still the rage-inducing Mario Kart game. My main problem with this version, which is the Switch version, the Deluxe version, it's that almost all the progression is cut out from the base game, because basically you have all unlocked as soon as you start, except for the kart customization.
So it's like they gave you the game with the DLC, but it's like you already beat the single-player progression.
Exactly.
It's like the game with
Almost.
the cheat code that unlocks everything.
Yeah, you mean I mean the card customization. It's also part of single-player experience.
Right.
But the thing where you unlock the different characters while you progress through the tracks, it's gone.
Oh.
There's still some there. It's not very much focused on single player. It's more focused on the multiplayer aspect. Connection issues were almost null.
Okay.
Which it's a cool feature, I guess, even with the Switch having all the Wi-Fi problems. And but basically, it's Mario Kart all over again.
So this sounds like a no-brainer if you're into Mario Kart, especially the multiplayer aspect of it.
Yeah.
And also you can play on the go.
That's the main aspect of the thing. It's like, yeah, I can play Mario Kart whenever I want now.
So with the single-player progression being not so great, but everything else from the portability and the multiplayer and the polish that is the Mario Kart 8 game, what would you score this?
I would score the B.
A B. Okay. Thank you, Fajitas.
My pleasure.
Warak,
Hey,
you're the guy of the horror game genre.
I am.
Last week we had we had a horrific game called Outlast 2.
A really scary game.
Okay.
Yeah, a really scary game. So we played Outlast 2.
How long?
I played like an hour.
Okay.
Of it.
So 1 hour
and
in.
a bit. Yeah.
First impressions.
They did a really good job, like last time. You know, we played together, as you all know, and I played this one alone. They locked me in the room, and I played alone. They do a amazing job with the ambience and with the jump scares, especially the jump scares. They nailed the jump scares. I think
that's the main focus of this game, right?
Yeah. I think they focus a lot on that. Not the main focus, but they do. Now they give it a really They make it a big deal of this.
With so many horror games coming out since the first Outlast, the first one was really good, especially with jump scares, atmosphere, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But since then we've had a lot of horror games. Does Outlast stand out in any way?
You know, compared with other games, like let's compare it with Resident Evil. Resident Evil gives you a chance to defend yourself, right? Right. And they kept the you can only run. Okay. It's not a new thing, but they still nail on that aspect. You can only run. You can only hide yourself.
There's no means to defend.
There's no means to defend. You can only hide. People might be frustrated because if you get blocked in a zone where you keep dying, the fear aspect of that game, you lose it right away because you keep trying. That's
the problem with horror games. As soon as you die, you're not scared anymore. You're just frustrated.
Exactly. Yeah. We talked about Soma, where Soma does a good job on that aspect. You don't immediately die, right?
You get a second chance.
You get a second chance.
So it's still tense for that moment.
It's still tense, and you still like all these and stuff. And there's still that amazing atmosphere where you still have that fear. No, it doesn't happen here on Outlast 2.
So what's the setting? Sorry to interrupt, but the first one was an asylum. What's going on here?
So you're in the middle of the forest this time. You start in a helicopter. There's some rumors there. Some pregnant women are disappearing or even dying, whatever. And as a journalist, you and your wife go there to investigate. And as like all horror games or horror movies, when you start talking about bad stuff happens.
Right.
And the helicopter goes down, and you're lost in the middle of the woods. And you start finding these weird houses and villages with a super religious setting,
Right.
where you immediately think about this is some this is like some cult or people that are like really into this, and
they are kidnapping pregnant women.
Yeah, it's really
It's creepy.
it's creepy and it's you're gonna see a lot of stuff.
What's the main difference between Outlast 1 and this one?
Not a lot. Now you can use your camera to amplify your audio. You can hear, if you point to a specific location, you can hear better.
Okay.
So you can hear footsteps, or you can hear conversations.
And now it's more of an open setting, right?
It's kinda, you still have that linear path, but you feel danger can come from anywhere.
Because the areas are bigger.
These areas are bigger. They played with fog. Still I have my night vision, but now there's fog. So even with night vision, you cannot see what's beyond a certain point. The story seems more interesting than the first one. It was really cool being in an asylum and meeting a lot of people where they were being experimented on, right?
Right.
They were being experimented. This one is just a lot of crazy religious people doing crazy stuff.
All right, 1 hour in. What's your first impressions? Where do you think this game's going in terms
For
of
now,
score?
I'm gonna give you since it's not a new thing, I'm not gonna give you a B.
Okay.
It's a good game. Yeah, it's a good game, but it's not something out of that that blow our minds. It's a good game.
And there's been a lot like that.
It's been a lot. It's a B.
Okay.
And you
Me,
have something to say.
I have finished Nier Automata.
Finally, all the endings, right?
Yeah. All five of the endings.
Five endings.
The rest is optional. So,
you still have, I didn't know about that.
So thanks to a comment that we got on one of our last videos, that was the main thing that motivated me to go play Nier again, because this person just said, you keep the progress on your side missions. And you remember I said that the side missions were extremely boring. I didn't want to replay the mission or start a new playthrough and have to do all of that again.
Sure.
And I think the phrasing there is detrimental to the game. When people say, oh, this is my first playthrough, the second playthrough, just the thought of having to repeat missions was something bad for me, but that's more of a phrasing thing because the game changes significantly enough to where you can think of each playthrough as sort of a chapter in the game.
Okay, I see.
Okay, so you finish the first part, the first chapter, let's say it. You get ending A, and then the second time you go through, you play the same missions with another character that plays very differently. And this character gets access to some extra exposition and some extra stuff in the story that he decides not to share with the character that you played with previously.
Okay.
And so the story keeps moving even though you're playing the same sort of missions, but you're playing as a different character who goes off and does his own thing a lot of times. So it's still fresh, like you repeat some of the content, but it's not something that is incredibly repetitive as I thought it would be. Then after you're done with that, you get ending B, and then the story just continues. It's like, it just goes on. And then things get really interesting. Like the story of this game definitely carried it from the start to the end. I would say this is the best story that I've played this year.
Yeah, we were surprised when you said this is one of the best, or if the best story this year. We were really surprised.
You have Horizon Zero Dawn, which is a pretty fucking great game.
I was impressed with that story.
And then suddenly you said, okay, this is way better?
This is way better, like by far. Like it dives
Holy
into,
crap.
It made me, I never cared about robots that much, okay? Never cared about robots the way I care about the robots in Nier Automata. And like it plays with your expectations a lot, just in terms of narrative. It finds really cool ways to present the narrative as well. The dance that the game does constantly between 3D action game into 2D action game into top-down shooter. Like the story has some crazy ideas there too, and it's presented in like that sort of back and forth ways to expose different things to you. Yeah, it's philosophical in a way, so if you're not into the deep meanings of what it means to be a human, what it means to be alive, maybe you're not gonna get as much out of this story. But for me, it was really, really deep, and it's really easy to create an emotional attachment to a lot of those characters see just really fucked up things happening. You're not gonna get out of that game and be happy. You're gonna be extremely sad and depressed. But it's a game that makes you feel a lot.
It will make you sad, or it will make you think. or both?
It will make you think, but you'll be sad.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. Another thing that you actually talked about with us was the fact this game will be way better if it wasn't like an RPG.
If it wasn't an RPG and if it wasn't an open world, I think this game would be a lot better. I criticized, the first time we talked about Nier, I criticized the open world being so empty and there being nothing to do there. The empty open world kind of works in favor of the setting. Okay, so that's all right. But again, it's super empty. There's nothing to do. There's no reason to run around from one place to another. Instead of running, you can use fast travel, but that's a loading screen, so that's not a better solution. It didn't need to be open world. You do revisit a lot of the areas in certain missions, and it makes sense. But you can do that in a linear game as well.
Yes.
You didn't need an open world to do that. And I still don't think Platinum Games knows how to do RPG. I didn't like the RPG system in Transformers. I don't like the RPG system in Nier. I never felt incentivized to buy new weapons. I just upgraded the ones I had because everything is like fetch quests. Go fetch these items to upgrade these weapons and spend money on this or that. There's some RPG elements that I really enjoyed, like the systems, equipping chips and
On your little robot, right?
on your little robot guy, and even the HUD is some of the chips, so you can take off HUD elements to put more attack in if you want. So I like that aspect of it, but everything that is like the level of the enemies in relation to your level, and they become very damage spongy at some point. I lowered the difficulty to easy just so I wouldn't have to deal with that. So yeah, everything open world, everything RPG, if it was gone, I think it would be a much better game. Even the combat, like it's good, but it's not on par with some of the other Platinum games.
Okay.
And this is sort of me justifying why this game doesn't get an S, because it definitely gets an A.
Wow.
And that's a big upgrade from the C that I gave it last time. After the first ending, I gave it a C, and now I'm giving it an A. So it's definitely worth playing the game after you reach the first ending. And the final ending is something special. Okay. Just to clarify, I said there are 5 endings, but it's basically 3 playthroughs. At the end of the 3rd playthrough, you have a choice. It's like you choose this or this, but then you can go back to the final chapter and just choose the other option, and then that's another ending. And after you get both, you get another one, and that's 5 endings total.
Okay.
Yeah. So A score, Nier Automata, definitely recommend it. But, you know, most of the problems that I mentioned in the first video
Are still there. Okay. And we have a final game to talk about.
We have a final DLC. I really love Nioh, as you guys know. And Nioh got a DLC which was sent in by Sony.
It was the Dragon of the North.
Dragon of the North DLC. So this opens up a new continent with new story missions. And it's more Nioh.
And PvP, right?
PvP is a free update that came out on the same day, but anyone can pretty much access it.
Got it.
But yeah, this is this new continent. It starts very strong. I haven't finished it. I'm like 1 hour in. It starts very strong with a cutscene. You go into the first level. There's a bunch of new enemy types, which this game desperately needed. So I have nothing but good things to say. You know, it's more Nioh, and that's already a long game. So if you had your fill, I totally understand. But if you want more of it, I think this DLC is pretty serviceable. I don't know how the content relates to the price because I haven't finished the DLC yet, but you have a free PvP update, so it's definitely a reason to reinstall Nioh in your PS4 and check it out. The PvP has kind of the same problems as For Honor, which sometimes if it's a peer-to-peer connection, so if you get a bad connection or if you get someone who has a lag switch, you're gonna have a bad experience. But yeah, you have matchmaking sort of Ninja Gaiden style. You start... Or Dead or Alive, maybe?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Well, you started at rank C, and that's a very Dead or Alive thing, right?
Yeah.
And then you can go up to rank A or A+, I think. And,
or you don't have to do any achievements to get your rank down.
Right.
I guess.
But if everything the connection works out, is it good? Is it fun?
Yeah, I think it's really good. So you have 1v1 and 2v2. And I've only done 2v2 so far. But it's really cool because you can customize your character in a lot of ways, but as soon as you get in, you will immediately see what types of weapons they have, but you don't know what kinds of items they have, what is their spirit animal, which kind of superpower they're going to use.
You have a surprise element that...
Yeah, a big surprise element.
Another thing that I want to know, can you party up with a friend to play against 2 people?
Probably, I haven't tried that.
Okay, how about playing 2 friends against two friends?
I'm pretty sure that maybe with password matchmaking that would work.
Okay.
But I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not going to score a DLC because that's weird. But
Sure.
yeah,
Unless it was a big expansion.
Right,
But
right.
this one doesn't make sense.
No, it's a new continent, and you guys know how big the continents are if you played Nioh. So hey, you get another one.
Awesome.
Yay.
And that's kind of it. I mean, we also played Little Nightmares. We have a review on the channel. We gave it a B.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect score for that game.
Yeah, it's like a 2-minute, 3-minute review, so you can go watch that if you want.
Yeah.
But that's it for quick reviews today. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Vegetas. Thank you, Warak.
Okay.
You're
Happy
welcome.
May the 4th, everyone.
Oh,
by the way.
Yeah. Oh, I only noticed now. You're wearing the shirt.
Yeah.
You're fired. Take care. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
I love you.